Today, we're diving into a pretty radical new strategy for cancer therapy. And what's really wild is where the inspiration comes from. Not genetics, not some new chemical compound, but a field you would probably never ever expect, ecology.
It's a fair question, right? Kind of sounds out there. I mean, we're so used to thinking about cancer in terms of medicine, genes, and labs. But what if the very same rules that govern how entire ecosystems survive or collapse could actually give us a powerful new way to fight cancer?
Well, that's exactly where this idea was born. The strategy we're going to break down is called the press-pulse model. And yeah, it's lifted directly from the playbook of ecology.
So what is this thing? Well, in ecology, scientists figured out that if you want to get rid of an invasive species, just applying one steady pressure often doesn't work. Instead, you combine that constant press with occasional, really intense shocks or pulses. The idea is to make the environment so hostile and so unpredictable that the species just can't adapt, it can't survive. And this strategy, it aims to do the exact same thing, but to cancer cells.
Okay, so let's break this down. Starting with the press. Think of this as the foundation of the whole strategy. It's a constant, low-level metabolic stress that just never lets up. It's designed to sort of wear down the cancer cells, drain their resources, and make them weaker and more vulnerable for what's coming next.
And the press agents themselves can be a whole range of things. You've got off-label drugs like metformin, which messes with glucose metabolism. You've got big dietary changes like the ketogenic diet, which basically starves many cancer cells of sugar, their favorite food. It can even be certain daily supplements. The specific agent isn't as important as the principle. They're all used continuously every single day to keep that pressure on.
All right, now for part 2 of the attack, the pulse. If the press is like a long, drawn-out siege, the pulse is like calling in the heavy artillery for a surprise bombardment. These are not everyday treatments. They're sudden, high-intensity shocks designed to hit those already weakened cancer cells right when they're down.
And again, the agents here can really vary. It might be a metabolic drug like DCA, or it could be something like high-dose IV vitamin C. Now, at these levels, we're not talking about your morning supplement. It acts totally differently. It actually helps create a storm of damaging free radicals inside cancer cells. It's intense. But the key is that these are cycled, maybe just a few times a week. This maximizes the shock to the tumor, but gives your healthy cells a chance to recover.
So if you put them side by side, the difference is crystal clear. The press is low and slow, it's continuous, and its job is to weaken and stress. The pulse is the exact opposite, high intensity, on and off, and its job is to disrupt and shock. They're two totally different tools, and the magic is in how you use them together.
And this is absolutely the crucial point. These aren't just two separate lists of things to try. They are designed to work together, synergistically. It's kind of like a boxer's 1-2 punch. The first jab sets up the knockout blow.
So here's how the strategy plays out. First, you've got the continuous press that puts the cancer cells in this permanently stressed out, weakened state. Then, when they're vulnerable, bam, they get hit with the high-intensity pulse. This carefully timed rhythm is what's so clever. It's designed to deny the cancer cells any chance to catch their breath, to recover, and, this is the most critical part, to stop them from adapting.
And that right there, that is the heart of the whole thing. I mean, one of the single biggest problems in cancer treatment is that tumors are masters of adaptation. They can figure out how to resist treatments. This press-pulse strategy is a direct assault on that variability. It's trying to overwhelm their capacity to adapt.
Now, this all sounds really elegant in theory, but you can probably imagine trying to actually do this in the real world. Well, it brings up a huge organizational challenge.
This quote from the source material just nails it. You've got all these potential press and pulse agents, dozens of them. How in the world do you or your doctors create a schedule that makes sense? How do you make sure that agent A doesn't cancel out agent B, or worse, conflict with your conventional treatments?
So here's a little glimpse of what that might look like. It's a super simplified schedule, but you get the idea. You see the press agents, metformin, the keto diet, they're on the list every single day. That's the constant pressure. But the pulse agents, like DCA and IV vitamin C, they're cycled in on specific days to deliver that shock. Now, just imagine doing this with 10, 15, or even more compounds. Yeah, it gets really complicated really fast.
Thankfully, technology is starting to give us some solutions here. Digital tools are now starting to emerge that can help patients and their doctors categorize all these different agents and actually visualize potential schedules. It's about turning that chaotic list of possibilities into a clear, structured plan of attack.
And that leaves us with a really powerful question.
Now look, this whole approach is still pretty experimental, but it represents a massive shift in thinking. Could this idea, this strategy that we borrowed from ecology, of all places, could personalized rhythmic metabolic therapy one day become a core pillar of cancer treatment, standing right alongside surgery, radiation, and chemo? It's a fascinating and honestly, a very hopeful thought.